All right, let's dive into something pretty wild today. We're exploring this fascinating idea that your brain isn't just for thinking, it's actually broadcasting. Yup, like a personal radio station, constantly sending and receiving signals that literally shape the world around you.
So let's just start with that big question. What if your mind isn't some closed-off box just holding your thoughts, but an active transmitter? What if every single thought you have is a signal that you're sending out into the universe? Let's dig into how this is all supposed to work.
Our source material really doesn't pull any punches. It states it just like that. It suggests that, kind of like a radio tower, your brain is constantly pushing out thought vibrations while at the same time pulling in vibrations from other brains. And that's the big idea we're going to unpack today.
So how does this mental radio actually, work? Well, according to the source, it's not just one big mashup. Different parts of your mind actually have very different jobs to do in this whole process.
The source breaks this down really nicely. Think of it like this. Your subconscious mind, that's the sending station. That's the part of you that takes a thought and actually broadcasts it out. And then you have your creative imagination. That acts as the receiving set, tuning in and picking up thoughts that are already out there.
Okay, so if your brain is broadcasting, what are these signals even traveling through? It's not the air we're breathing. No, it's something our source calls the ether.
So what is the ether? Well, our source paints this picture of a huge cosmic mass of vibrating energy. You can almost think of it like a giant cosmic soup that's everywhere all at once. And this ether is just filled to the brim with every thought vibration ever created by any brain.
And this really gives you a sense of just how much stuff is out there. The ether carries everything. Vibrations of fear and failure are floating around right alongside vibrations of prosperity and success. It's this chaotic, incredible mix of energy, and it's all available for you to tune into. So, with all those signals flying around, how do you make your broadcast powerful enough to cut through all that noise? How do you make sure your signal is the one that gets heard?
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting. A plain old thought, one without any real emotion behind it, it's a weak signal. It's like whispering in a hurricane. It just doesn't have the power to go anywhere or influence anything.
This is the key. Emotion. That's the amplifier. It's the feeling you attach to a thought that gives it juice, that gives it life, that actually makes it do something. Without emotion, a thought is just static, but with it, it becomes this powerful, high-frequency broadcast.
And you can really see the difference in power here, right? Look at that unemotional thought. It's barely a blip on the radar. But then you mix that thought with a powerful emotion like faith or love or just a really intense desire, and boom, the signal strength just shoots through the roof. You're cranking up the power on your mental broadcast station.
So what happens when you manage to broadcast one of these super strong, emotionally charged thoughts? Let's follow that signal and see what happens next. According to the source, those big, powerful thoughts you keep thinking over and over, the ones that really dominate your mind, they don't just go out. They start pulling things in. They literally become magnetic.
And what does it attract? Well, it starts grabbing similar thoughts that are just floating around out there in the ether, a host of its relatives, as the source puts it. It grows stronger, it starts attracting the energy of other people, and get this, it even starts to attract actual definite plans for how to make that thought a physical reality.
This quote just nails the whole process. A single, small idea, if you give it enough emotional charge, can basically gather an army of similar ideas. It just grows and grows until it completely takes over and becomes the main thing driving you. And this brings us to what is maybe the most important takeaway of all. You are the one at the controls. You're the one sitting in the control room. You're the chief operator of your own mental broadcasting station. You decide what signal goes out.
So, the way our source explains it, it's like there are these two giant streams of power you can tap into. On one side, you've got all the good stuff. Desire, faith, love, enthusiasm, that's the stream that leads to fortune. But on the other side, you've got the negative stuff, fear, jealousy, hatred, and that's the one that pulls you down toward poverty. The choice is yours.
This means that things like misfortune or bad luck, maybe they're not so random after all. According to this perspective, they're the physical result of broadcasting negative thoughts and beliefs. When you broadcast fear or failure, your subconscious picks that up and works to make it your reality.
And this really brings it all home to a single point of control. It all boils down to this one incredible idea from the source. We can't control everything out there,
but we have been given complete, absolute control over this one thing, our own thoughts. That's our domain.
And really, the whole thing can be summed up with this powerful statement. Whether you end up with a life of riches or a life of poverty, the origin point is exactly the same. It all starts as a thought, gets amplified by emotion, and is broadcast from your mind.
So that leaves us with a pretty powerful question, one for you to think about. If your mind really is a broadcast station, take a second and just ask yourself, right now, in this very moment, what are you broadcasting?